Alright, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We're going to do a little driving video. This is not an ecology video. This is not an environmentalist video. This is not really a sideways video. This is an upside down and pissed off video. I'm a rural person. So you think I'm a redneck and I'm an idiot. And that's fine. I've lived in 2 major European capitals. I have lived in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I've been to 5 continents. I've had extensive experience with the mass transit systems of like 7 cities, 3 of them in Europe. I've lived in Mountain View and Richmond, California, and Oakland, California. You know, I'm not like a country bumpkin, all right? I've lived in Houston. I've lived in Phoenix. I mentioned the Bay Area. I've lived in Seattle. You know, I've lived in a lot of places. I've also lived in Ponca City, Oklahoma, which is pretty rural. I've lived in Fortaleza de la Frontera in Spain, which is kind of rural. I've lived in Rota, which is not exactly rural, but it really is once you get outside of those like 10 blocks of town. It's one of those Navy town things, which is right like where I am now. This is a Navy town. It's 90% agriculture by space, 8% desert by space, and then like 2% city. I mean, this is a very rural area. Just because there's an airbase here doesn't mean it isn't. Anyway, you know, I read actual psychological research for fun and self-edification. It's not like I haven't had classes on it. You know, it's not something I just randomly picked up from nowhere. But I read history. I particularly like military history and pre-history, pre-civilization history, because there's some really cool stuff coming out of that now. I'm not a dumb redneck. So let's talk about coronavirus. Let's talk about how that's happening and how that's being handled. I live in a country area, a rural area, where the bathrooms are open, and people mostly don't wear masks. You know, there's scared old people who yell and scream about it, but mostly no masks, bathrooms are open, no coronavirus. I had to go to Reno today. Reno is not a fun place for me to go at the best of times, although, you know, sometimes for entertainment there's some pretty cool stuff, you know. Like street vibrations or a concert or whatever. Well, street concert, not one of the arena concerts. Those things are fucking horrible. Ugh. Why do people do that to themselves? I was with a family member, and this was sort of a celebration, and their bathrooms are something that we need on occasion because I like to stay hydrated, and I like to wash my hands because washing your hands is the best way to control the spread of disease. We've known this for a couple hundred years now. Well, almost a couple hundred years now. Let's not get technical. We've really been up on this for a century, okay? This is not a big deal. Well, so one of the biggest things that happened with the coronavirus lockdowns, and I've mentioned this before because it's one of my normal rants, is that all of a sudden you can't wash your hands anywhere. For your health and mine, to better control the spread of coronavirus, no bathrooms. Oh, no. All right. So, 3 thrift stores, 4 restaurants, 3 gas stations, no bathrooms. No way to wash your hands. Finally, at the very end of my search, because I was actually looking for a bathroom, and the last place you look is where you find something, We found one gas station that had a bunch of signs all over the door that says, please, 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 can you guys wear a mask just long enough so that we don't get reported again because they're trying to shut us down. They're the place that has an open bathroom. They're the place that's like, you do you, man. You want to wear a mask, wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. But no. All those city rules, man. Cities are just kind of a shithole anyway, right? Like, they're always hard to find a bathroom in. And a clean bathroom? Good luck. I mean, that would be like finding polite and helpful service in a city. That's just not the way it works. Well, it would also be like finding man, I'm not going to say the words, but a person who lives out past me on the federal facility who can drive and make a left-hand turn. Not going to happen either. All right, so here's the thing about the lockdowns. You know, we have bathrooms in the country, rural areas. We can actually wash our hands. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that we're not all running around going, oh my God, coronavirus, I'm so sick, I'm a victim, I'm in fear. Maybe it's because we actually have vitamin D because we go out in the sun once in a while. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe it's just the population density. Y'all are fucked up. But here's the thing. We also rely on community. We have community centers. We have senior centers. Community centers are things that a lot of people in cities don't even know exists. Like, they'll talk about it if it's a social justice thing, but that's not how you interact. That's not how you do stuff, okay? People in small towns, they like go to the VFW for dinner on Friday night, and it's a social event. Like, it's a thing. And you say, oh, it's so sad and country bumpkin and horrible and look at all those dumb people. Well, you know, we also know how to talk to each other. We know how to talk to people who we disagree with. We know how to associate with people that we may not like, but we can do business with. We're kind of tolerant and kind of open-minded. And we have community centers, and we have community facilities, and we have things like bingo. Okay, so the bingo is closed, and that is what set off this video. I'm driving through Stagecoach. Stagecoach is a town in Nevada that is so small it doesn't have a stop sign. All right? I think there's a stop sign getting onto 50, but there's no stop signs in the roads, the dirt roads. Like, there's a couple hundred people in the area. The community of Stagecoach, we're talking about a census-designated place, not a city or a town. But they have a community thing. They have a community center, community hall, and they have a community board meetings of some sort. But they don't have like a mayor, like government the way city people understand it isn't really there. And you know, the sign out front says bingo is closed until further notice. We will get it back ASAP. And that just fucking made me sad. Okay? It doesn't matter to you. You're in the city. You don't give two shits. You don't do community centers. If you want to go play bingo because you like bingo, you go to Reno. You drive across the line from California and go to a gambling state where you can gamble, and you go to a fucking casino. You pay a bunch of money and deal with people smoking cigarettes all over you. Whatever. Bingo in a small town, you know, they're not doing bingo at Walker Lake either. All right, Walker Lake is a Indian reservation down by, well, Walker Lake, and all their stuff, all their social events are canceled. And you know, this stuff matters. Okay, I get that you live in a city, and if you want to do something social, you have all of these fun options with lots of money involved, where it's not about the people, it's about the stuff. You know, either it's about the new special ethnic food. Oh, look at all these little immigrant people making all their special food. Like, you guys are so racist. Man, this is gonna be an awful rant. I don't know if I can post this, but you guys are so freaking racist. You do ethnic food because it's all about the little immigrant pets you have. Man. I mean, I like me some lumpia, but I like me some lumpia made by a rude old grandma who's going to yell at me. All right? Navy kids. I was raised Navy. I was in the Navy. Different world, right? Oh man, I just can't. I can't even say what I need to say because I'll get kicked off the internet again. I've already been kicked off the internet. All right, so y'all have this super materialistic, super elitist idea of community. Like for you, the big horrible part of COVID is that you have to like go somewhere else to ride your $2,000 carbon frame bicycle or something. I don't even know. Like I think that's really the problem is you guys don't know what the impacts actually are, right? You're like, oh, close down the city pool. Who cares? I have a private club. Well, you can't close down the private club. You can only reduce it because it's private. Whatever. Fuck you. Seriously. Like, out here, the county pool, because it's the only one for like 100 miles going west, 200 miles going east. I mean, people actually drive like 2 hours a couple times a week from Gabs to get in here and to like do stuff in town. You guys have no idea what the effects are. You're like, close everything down, coronavirus. Coronavirus isn't that bad. I'm not saying it's not bad, because maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, I can't trust the death numbers. I can't trust the death numbers being based on coronavirus instead of people being stupid about treating coronavirus. You know, I know some... I'm not going to get into it. That will get me banned. But we have not treated people properly with coronavirus. We haven't done the right things. Hospitals are not a place to put people who have compromised immune systems, especially when they're old, if they have respiratory difficulties. The biggest killer of old people from nursing homes is a fall. Do you know why? Because they fall, they break a bone, they go to the hospital, they catch pneumonia, they die. You don't want people in hospitals for this. Of course, you don't want them in their houses for 3 months with the blinds drawn and the windows closed, because of course they're going to get sick. Have you been in a modern house? Can you imagine not airing that thing out? Can you imagine having to spend all of your time in it? That's not healthy. I mean, it's really not healthy. I mean, like, there's actual stuff about that. I'm not just making it up. That's not healthy. All right. Continuing on. Coronavirus is not that bad. And when I say it's not that bad, I don't mean it's that there's nothing there. I mean that you're killing people. Okay, we are at a place... My son is at a specific age right now. I have 4 children. One of them is at a specific stage of life. And we have just destroyed a couple years of a generation. There are things that you can do. I'm not going to say it, but being able to make a left-hand turn is not that hard if you're sober and you don't live on a federal facility. Anyway, this part of the month is really bad for drivers. So my son is at that particular age, okay? There are things that you need to learn that you can't learn remotely online. This year, we were supposed to take a welding class together. I can, kind of half-ass weld a little bit, but I was going to take an actual class, get a little better, make my skill set. He wants to go on and do some stuff. He needed to get the basic shop quals. There's a class to get all the shop machinery qualifications for the college campus. And then go in, and he was going to do his plumbing and his auto repair. The auto repair is just so that he knows, it's something he wants to do. And the plumbing is semi-professional, okay? It's like something he wants to learn to decide if he really wants to do license or whatever. And you can't do any of this. You can't do any of it. You can't go on campus and do anything. You can't teach a welding class online. That's not how it works. There's no apprenticeship. Okay, we've regulated ourselves to the point where you can't apprentice either. He can't just go work for a plumbing company. He can't just go to a welding shop and say, hey, I'm a 17-year-old kid who will work for minimum wage if you teach me some things. You can't do that. There are so many laws that get violated if you do that. And, most of the time people do it anyway. People do cash under the table, learn the job, okay? I know a couple of machinists who still learned on the sly while sweeping the shop and got handed a spot in the tool room later on. But you're not really, that's not how it works. I'm not going to say you're not supposed to do it, but it's very heavily regulated. You can't do that. It's not how you become a plumber. And you're not allowed to do the schooling. And that's not even a rural-urban thing. It is because urbanites tend to not realize that there are jobs that involve things outside of a cubicle. Like, hey, except for, service jobs. I mean, the urbanites really understand service jobs. The people who serve them, yeah, they understand that. But that's semi-skilled at best, or they think it is. Some of them are very highly skilled, but that's another thing. Do you understand how the world works? Look at that smiley face. Yeah, irrigation time. Oh, that is a full canal too. All right, moving on. You idiots in the cities have shut down life for the countryside, opportunity for the countryside. You have destroyed jobs that are not coming back. You've destroyed family-run industries that have been around for over a century, sometimes 2 centuries, that are not coming back. You have fucked us, and we are pissed. I don't know how this is going to turn out, because there's a whole lot of stuff about white Marxists trying to start a race war, and there's a whole lot of weirdness going on right now. Look at those quail. Tasty, tasty. And oh man, boom, suburbia. It's interesting how rural communities work. I think one of the reasons we're healthier is that we have the countryside right there, like in our backyards. But hey, look, it's a neighborhood. I know for a fact that there are block parties on the street because I've been to a few, right? They're a little bit further down, just if you're wondering. So, you fucked us. And I don't know. I mean, at some point in time, bad things are going to happen. I just don't know what those bad things are. I don't know how it's going to happen. Like, we're mad. But who are we mad at? The governor here isn't actually a Marxist. He's an establishment business Democrat. He is literally Nevada's version of Trump. Look up his record. He's a big government Democrat, and he thinks that he has to control all the little people. He made his money selling corporate swag. Like, okay, maybe Trump's a little bit better than that. Let's be real. At least real estate is real. Man, this is dragging on. I gotta get it over with. Look, you shut down our community centers. You shut down our access to social life. That's not going to work. You're shutting down our access to the future. That's not going to work. You're shutting down too much. And it's because of urban fears of what is predominantly an urban plague that you don't know how to treat properly because you don't know how to live properly. All right. I just hope the poor old ladies can play bingo before they all commit suicide. But hey, you do you. Stay sideways.